So hello, good evening, and welcome to the Donny Chaingang. We are live down in the Full Speed Event studio once again. It is a new year. It's a good year, not just because we're back, but also because I am joined down in the studio by a very special co-host who not only has hosted World Championships on the BBC, somebody who is instrumental in making the WoW Chaingang happen, a rider, a coach, and somebody who is, let's get this out of the way, 1 year older today. How'd you spend your birthday? But joining me down in the studio, hello, Emma.
I can confirm there is no better way to start your birthday than with a Donny Chaingang, because it's your community and you love them.
And it's friends as well, and let's face it, it's one big family. And how better to spend your birthday on with your family? So we're going to do that with the community.
Yeah.
So,
and can I just say, there are only 11 days a year where Matt and I are the same age.
I know, I'm still always older. Not
Yep.
necessarily wiser or smarter, but definitely older. So a big thank you to everybody who has already wished Emma happy birthday. We did come in early. I didn't tell her I was going to do that, and I will get probably something thrown across the studio later for that. But today is a pretty special day because we are into Richmond, one of our favourite courses. And let's take a look at where we are going to be heading, and we'll be jumping in a second. We go to Richmond. It is 3 laps of the UCI Worlds course from 2015. It is 0.5k leading. We then get 3 laps of 16.2k. So traditionally, it is 1 lap easy, 1 lap at tempo, and 1 lap after the go. But of course, the man who's going to be setting that free is Russ. We finish at the lap arch, and there should be about 900 metres to a kilometre of warm down to the blue banner, and that warm down is very, very important. Now, Emma, this is a course that you know well. You've run events on here. You've raced on here. It is one of the toughest circuits, isn't it?
We have run the WoW Chaingang on here. I have raced on here. I have done a team time trial on this course, and I tell you, it is a killer course for a team time trial, but I do love it. Secretly, I really love this course.
Secretly, you really... And why is that? What about this makes it so special?
I love the fact there are flat, fast sections where you can sit in the draft and hang in the group. And then the climbs are short and punchy in comparison. You know, realistically, 45 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Those are the lengths of the climbs you're going to get on this course. And it makes for a really fast, fun, punchy course. Half hilly, half flat.
Half hilly, half flat. Okay. Let's take a look at the riders. They are out on the circuit. We think we can just see them heading into towards the lap banner. So let's dive in here on the Donny Chaingang for 2024. Supported by Goodyear Tyres. Our friend Shelley Charles down at Cambrian Tyres looking after our riders. And we've got a bit of a superstar on the Chaingang today in the shape of a certain Mr. Ryan Mullen. Ryan is down here. You can see he's in the green there with the green Tron bikes. Emma, from memory, can you remember Ryan Mullen? I know national champion on road and time trial.
Yep.
He's also been a medalist in, I think, or he's been right up there in the World Championships as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, so 6-time national time trial champion of Ireland, 3-time national road champion. He has indeed been up there in the World Championships time trial and the under-23 time trial. So as you can imagine, time trialling is his strength. Riding for Borough Hansgrove on the road and participating on the World Tour.
And in that team, I mean, he's a rider. Yes, he can time trial, but let's face it, if you can time trial, you can do an effort up here. Hopefully that's going to be sufficient to get him into place, isn't it?
All I can say for everybody else on the Donny Chaingang in 2024 is just be thankful he's probably on his off-season.
Yes. I think that's probably sums it up for pretty much everybody else out there at the moment. So, our riders heading on lap number 1. Now, this is a course 2 halves. Everyone has said it is flat and it has a hilly section. let's pull that down for you, and we can show you that in a little bit more detail here. So the top section of the course, the big platform, the plateau is to the left of the screen there on this fantastic Velo Viewer graphic. That is where we are for the first half of each lap. We go basically around the top. We then drop down into the hillier section. We drop down that big long descent and along the riverside, and then we go up 3 climbs. Now the first climb is the twisting, curving climb that takes us up to the top. It's the one that people remember Richmond for, finishing at the Monument. That is a hard climb. You've then got a kicker of a climb. It's a steep, short one. I think it's 23rd Street, the sprint up it. Cobbled, but very, very quick. And then there's a long climb at the finish with the right turn and a left turn that brings us back to the plateau. And for me, that is always the hardest one.
Well, yeah, actually, I do agree with you, Matt, because it does feel like a bit of a drag, particularly because the kicker, 23rd Street, that kicker, particularly the middle climb, really fast, really furious, and you go into it with high cadence, and it is really short. You then come down the other side and you kick into that final climb that takes you up to the lap banner, and you think it's going to be like the one you've just come off, and it isn't. It is longer, and the gradient is slightly different, and it does feel, you do really feel it, because about halfway up there you lose the momentum, and then it is a really big kick in and dig in to the finish.
Okay, so we'll take another look at that back. Just a refresher for everybody. You can see it in 2D on the top left-hand side of the screen there. Flat along the top, drop down the long descent along the river. Then we've got the longer cobble climb. We've got the short cobble climb, and then that long, nasty drag at the finish. We'll be bringing those back out for you. And once again, just a reminder, 3 laps of 16.2k going out and around the circuit. And at the moment, Ryan, I hate to break it to everybody, Ryan Mullen is starting his season tomorrow
so
at the Tour Down Under.
Okay, perhaps he's not so much on his off-season as we may have thought.
No, but he might be resting a little bit prior to it. I mean, although it might be his last big hit out. Then he's going to the UAE Tour. So Ryan heading from Tour Down Under to the UAE Tour, which is going to be an interesting one. Then up to altitude, then the Classics. It's a packed season for Ryan.
Oh, and I tell you what, if Ryan would like to send everybody a picture of the Elephant Rock while he's out on the UAE Tour, I'm sure the Donny Chaingang will be most appreciative.
It is indeed a picture of the Elephant Rock. You'll know why if you follow us for a lot of our broadcasts out and about. Because, of course, we cover lots of different disciplines. Emma, this coming season, 2024, your programme, in terms of, should we go for riding first, or should we go for commentating?
Oh, I don't know, whichever way
Let's
you want to do it.
Let's go for racing first. So what you got first in terms of riding?
The final season of ZRL, starting towards the end of January.
Okay.
So I should be doing that. And then pretty much I haven't made my mind up.
You haven't made your mind up? Okay.
No, I'm a little Bucks Fizz.
Ooh, that is an old one, isn't it? That is pretty old.
Yeah, need to make my mind up.
You do need to make your mind up. So, after that, or before that, broadcast-wise, we've got the Donny Chaingang, we've got the Wow Chaingang coming out and bike organising. We've got our regular Sunday event as well that we're commentating on. And, of course, there's some UCI stuff coming up as well. Are you able to talk about it? Anything confirmed yet?
No.
Okay.
Nothing confirmed yet.
Okay, in that case,
but potentially lots in the pipeline.
Excellent. And if people want to get a hold of you, you've got a gig coming up. They can
I do.
maybe have
In
a little
fact, next weekend, not this weekend coming, but next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I will be commentating on the Boudica Tour, which is the women's 3-day event on Zwift, starting on Friday, the 12th of January.
And that's going to be available. It's going to be coming out on YouTube. It's going to be streamed. There's yourself, and is there anybody else with you? Yes,
there is indeed. So my co-host Gillian from the States will be on that show with me.
Okay, and is she just a little bit of background? I think she's a current rider at the moment on the on Zwift as well, but we'll no doubt find out when we tune in to the Tour of Boudica. And that's going to be kicking off do go on that. If you haven't,
Yeah, entries closed tonight.
entries closed tonight. So if you're one of our women riders, we're just focused on Sonia Inslee at the moment, you fancy a 4-day stage race on Zwift, then go to Tour of Boudica. Lots of links, I guess, on your profile and on social media from you, Emma.
Yeah, you can find all the information at the Warrior Games, or you can pick up the feed off of my Instagram account at Biking Emma.
Okay, so there you go. That's where to go if you want to join in, if you're eligible to ride in the Boudica Tour. Now, just taking a little bit of a look at our riders making their way round here. Looks like we've got some of our regulars on board. Some of the riders who are here riding last night as members of the DCG gang. That's the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. A quick reminder for everybody riding on Tuesday on the Supporters Club, maybe Wednesday on the WOW Chaingang, and of course here. But a quick reminder, all of this is possible because we have people who are kind enough to donate to the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, the DCG gang. That means that they've donated for the month. That means that if you are in, then what we do, we send you the links direct for the Donny Chaingang, so you get them in your email inbox. Really important you don't share them, please, because we do have a duty of care to our riders. We have a lot of young riders on here, a little bit more of that in a short while. And we do need to know who's on the gang, so please don't share the links, try and get everybody to register. There is a way to register for free on a Thursday, but on a Tuesday we have a members only event, so that's those people who have donated. They get access to that as well, and if you're a member at the moment, there is 30% off Goodyear bike tyres, 30% off Continental tyres. Any bike tyre, yeah.
Road.
Yep.
Mountain bike.
Yep.
Gravel.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, so whether you want a trail tyre, a downhill tyre, cross-country tyre, sandy gravel tyre, fast tarmac gravel tyre, mud gravel tyre, cyclist cross style gravel tyre, a all-winter tyre, a summer tyre for blatting around some very nice French roads, on some super smooth tarmac, wherever you're going to be. If you're going to be heading to the Tour Down Under, whether you're going to be riding out and around the depths of the biggest potholes in the world ever around Dronfield, which we discovered today out in the full speed event.
I think the run down into Hathersage is bad enough at the moment.
Indeed it is, yeah. Please be aware if you are riding out around Hathersage, going out and peak this weekend, the roads, there are some potholes down there that literally will take your bike apart. Somebody who's bounced down the road on their head repeatedly over the last month or so. Quick reminder, please, take it easy on that descent into Hathersage. It is absolutely lethal at the moment. Some of those holes,
the potholes have holes.
They're probably a foot across, they're sharp edged, and they're maybe a foot deep. That is how big they are. Do not fall down, hit them, clatter into them, and a lot of them are difficult to dodge as well, particularly if it's busy. So if you are going out and peak, please, guys, take it steady around that Hathersage area. But whatever you're going over, you need some good rubber on there. So Goodyear tyres have plenty of that. If you don't want a Goodyear tyre and you want a Continental, you can also get hold of 30% discount on there. We have 20% off from Gritty. So Gritty Sustainable Sports Apparel. Neil from the Crosscast and from Gritty is on the ride tonight. Here he is. So Neil, my co-host on the Crosscast, and it is well worth having a listen to the Crosscast, latest episode with Magnus Backstead. We were very controversial, or I was, and I said we wanted to put a 60% rule instead of an 80% rule on international C1 races because it would eliminate people. By lap 3 in the races in Coxsider, it is no exaggeration to say that they had already caught 5, if not 6 of the riders in front in both the men's and women's races were catching riders in the first 3 laps, which could cause an upset, cause a problem for a rider and put them out of a career as long as Ryan Mullins is, because I think he was back 2016-17, was he riding in the World Champs?
Yes.
I think it's about that kind of time. So, really is key to have a listen to that. If you're into your cyclo-cross, have a listen to the Crosscast with Neil from Gritty and myself. Gritty with 20% discount. 20% discount also from OTE for members of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. They're in and on board to the end of the season as well. We've got 10% off Halo. We've got Nonnas coming up in what is going to be February, And in February, as part of that, not only is there the discount that Nana's looking after everybody, which they're doing all the way through who are members of the DCG gang, but in February there is a very special night out. So you need to put the date in your diary. If you're a member of the DCG gang, the 17th of February,
Da, 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 da.
Saturday night, you need to be on board. You need to let us know in advance because we have broken all the rules and we are going to take a huge group and invade the best Italian in town.
Can't wait.
The cyclist favourite, as patronised by everybody from Russ, from Dean, Ben, Swift, Connor Swift, woeful cyclists but not bad commentators like me.
Have you put your name down yet?
I have indeed bought my ticket.
Well done. Me too.
You bought your ticket, have you?
I have indeed.
Oh, excellent. Brilliant. So if you haven't bought your ticket, get your tickets bought. Let us know what you're going to do. It's going to be a big party. We're going to have a great time. All thanks to Nonna. So if you are a member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, jump on board, get those tickets bought. At the moment, there is preference to members who are all-year members. Next week, it opens for members in February. So if you've bought a February or donated for February in the month, then you will get your code, your access code at the start of next week.
Hold on a minute. It's only January. Are you suggesting that people may have bought their February
membership already? They have. There's a number of them.
Oh, right,
and
okay.
As soon as you get it, you come in. Sign up. Southerners invited, most definitely.
It
Emma's
does not
coming.
matter where you... Did you just say Emma's going?
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm a Southerner, but I live in Derbyshire.
And yes, but you're still
Going
from
to
down
Cardiff,
south.
Chris, is not an excuse.
No, just change it down, eh? Neil fears his way. This is not... Well, Neil has a new job and a new office to go with it. So.
Well, if Neil can't come, Caroline might be able to.
Well, that would be... Yeah, well, let's face it. With Neil or Caroline at a party, take your pick. No comment. Emma's not said a word there.
I was about to say, I'm
you
a little...
can't win here, can
well,
you?
Matt has just, shall I just say, has just stumped me a little bit by actually suggesting that. Yeah, and Chris, you know, it might be a problem when it is the wife's birthday, but it's Matt's wife's birthday today, and I'm here in the studio with some headphones on.
She is indeed. There you go. Married a Yorkshireman, still a Southerner. You don't even get allowances like you do on an Irish paddy passport, just for being a northerner. Okay. Yes. Oh, and happy birthday from Neil to Emma. Excellent. Right. Let's jump in with somebody who yesterday was riding in yet another different kit on the Wow Chaingang. Wow Chaingang yesterday. Emma, where were you on the Wow Chaingang yesterday? Tell us.
Crikey, do you know what? I'm absolutely wondering where we were because my legs hurt. We were on Crit City, downtown Dolphin.
You were indeed.
Yeah, and I've just seen Foxy in the mix tonight, and she's wearing different kit. Now, she had on a very nice autumnal kit yesterday.
It's winter. I hate to break it to you, it's not autumnal.
Well, it looked autumnal. It had, like, leaves on it.
Indeed. Indeed. Now, should we talk about the where we are on the course?
Yeah.
Just briefly. We better dive back in. We are on the big descent. So, if you take a look at the profile, top left-hand side of your screen, you can see we've done the flat section. We talked all through it because basically it's dead boring. We're now on to the descent. Oh, well, it is. Come on. You just ride round and it doesn't do much and it warms your legs up. We're now on to the descent. We are making our way down. And as you can see at the moment, that descent is where we're at with Foxy at the moment. I'm just going to pull the helicopter up. One big bunch just making the way down here. Dropping down the side of the big slope that kicks in. And as you can see, we're about to come down out towards the bottom. And then going to be along the riverside. Now, this almost, in some ways, one of these climbs is almost a little bit like the climb that you had on downtown Dolphin, Emma.
A little bit.
It's cobbled and it's a big kicker.
Yeah, but the climb on downtown Dolphin is not as long as the cobbled climb here today.
It's not, but similar tactic may well take you away because it was a cracking ride, a fantastic move being made to take the win there, and I'm not going to give it away. It was a cracking finish.
No, it was
it's
a
well
seriously
worth a watch.
good. And I have to say, I sat up when I went under the lap banner and got a ghost
That's not much fun.
Because realistically you needed a feather, an arrow or an anvil to stay with the leading group last night. It was moving so fast.
It was very, very quick indeed. It's well worth a watch. But I think if I were you, I would go have a watch on the
Full Speed Events YouTube channel.
Exactly. And you can then catch up with all of the WoW Chaingangs. If you want to jump on board, if you're watching now thinking, oh, I quite fancy having a go, well, guess what? Guess what?
What?
You can go to www.buytickets.at/fullspeedevents and register for free for the Donny Chaingang. You can also not only just get the links for Thursdays there, jump on board and register, because we do check everybody's a real person, and we've got no spam bots in there, no ne'er-do-wells. I love that phrase, but it sums up people that we eject regularly. There are 2 people on a permanent ban now. They will never be back.
Let's move on.
Moving on, you can also join the DCG gang, get access to Tuesdays, the members ride, and of course all of those great discounts from 1080 from Goodyear Tyres, Halo, Nonnas, Gritty and OTE. Be in with being able to come to the Nonnas Night Out with Russ, with myself, with Emma and with the gang. But you can also get all of the links for the WoW Chaingang on there as well. www.buytickets.at/fullspeedevents. That means that you can jump on board and ride. And if you want to jump on board and ride on a Thursday, it is free to ride. You just ask that you register. And make sure you do it with more than 1 hour to spare, because we need that time to settle the broadcast. Check. We do literally go through the list and check everybody that we know, that everybody's a real person. Now, on the way in, the warm-up is continuing on. I was just in with John Garfoot. John, one of our members of the DCG gang, the Royal Navy cyclist, working well. So just moving through. And on the way up the climb. Tempo looks okay for Ryan Mullen.
Well, I hope tempo's okay for Ryan. I'm sure Ryan.
He's a World Tour cyclist. Well, although, you know, night before a flight to Tour Down Under, yeah, going to be a toughie. You don't want to do too much, because you don't want to be doing a flight with sore
Do you know,
legs.
I'm dreaming of lovely, hot, sunny weather.
Are you dreaming of the WoW Week?
No, I'm dreaming of the Tour Down Under.
Tour Down, well, yeah, Tour Down Under, I think so. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. It's going to be absolutely cracking. I think some great coverage of that. I'm looking forward to watching the racing. And now Ryan is riding on the Donny Chaingang. Of course, we're all going to be supporting Ryan around the Tour Down Under, because we are very partisan on the Donny Chaingang.
Yep, he's going to have a lot of supporters. 69, well, actually 68 people supporting him this year that will be cheering very loudly now.
Well, you could make that 71, depends on how you count.
Oh, that's true,
the
because,
numbers.
well, 68, 70, because, of course, Ryan's in there as well, so we need to knock one off.
He might. I hope he supports himself. I hope he's very positive about himself.
Well, I'm sure he is.
You don't get.
But you
to be
can't
that
cheer
good.
yourself along the way. Well, I suppose you can cheer yourself along the way.
We will see. Ryan won the 27 hours in 6 days of Gran Canaria over New Year. He's allowed an easy spin before it gets too hard. Definitely, Ryan. Definitely. Quite agree with that, mate. And please do take it easy. Don't forget, you need to be following the Bora Hansgrove team in the Tour Down Under. Ryan's down there. He goes from there to the UAE Tour. And then from there, it's going to be heading up to Oxford and crossing to the Classics. Loads to keep an eye on the way through. Now, just whilst they're all making the way in towards climb number 1, and we go through the banner and just making our way onto the first of the climbs. This is climb number 1 of 3 on the circuit. Just making the way in. At the moment, the KOMQM has no times up on the top from the group in here. You can see no details showing, but generally it will get quicker and quicker, depending on where Russ lets the group go. Now, the Donny Chaingang follows the same format that we've followed for a long, long time, and part of that is staying with the yellow beacon. So if you're on the front, ease up at the top of the climb and squeeze if you're at the back. So front, come backwards, back, come forwards, we all come together and we all come back together again. As you can see, it's not all that far to the top. If you take a look at the satellite map, you can see if we zoom out, we've got basically a right hairpin turn, a left tight turn, a right hairpin turn, and then another right turn into the finish, and then we will hit that banner.
You know, and of course the key thing here is, if in doubt, you're not sure what pace, stay with yellow. Currently, that big yellow chevron is over the top of Russ. He's currently doing 2.5 watts per kilo.
He is, and just keeping it ticking along. Interesting choice of bike, obviously a Pinarello, but lightweight wheels tonight.
Oh, well, he's planning on that uphill finish.
Do you know? Yeah, that says to me.
It's an uphill finish.
It is. It's an uphill finish, and if you are secure in your ability to ride in the bunch, but you fear you may be distanced on the climb, not only do you want either a feather or a steamroller for this particular climb, but it may be a case it is going to be better to actually have a lighter set of wheels than a heavier set of wheels. So we'll maybe go dive in with some of the riders on the way around here. Now, on to the climb here. Taking the right-hand turn, Russ's heart rate is over 100, so he is actually now officially alive. The heart rate there, just over 5 times the 10% gradient, 20% gradient came in round that turn. It ramps up at the moment, just making the way in towards the arch at the top. The group pretty much all together, which is what we want to see at this stage, and this is the point where it does become critical, that the group at the front just ease off and the group at the back comes together. Now, if it's critical here, it's even more critical on the next ascent. Really, really important. Oof. Looks like Norm is getting into everything, a bit like Russ used to be. It still is, really. I mean, fuel, coffee, espresso machines, bike flags, cycling. Fortunately, cold drinks, so not too bad. Now, Russ just at the back of this group. You can see it's already strung out at the front of the group, a long line, so the back are going to be squeezing onwards. I think I've just seen Claire Richardson go through there.
Oh, yeah, she is there indeed.
Eoin Scud, your teammate.
I know, I was just looking at that. We just missed her on the thing. But yeah, indeed, so Claire Richardson also in here as well as Sonia Inslee, Foxy and Fiona Booker. Yes,
quite a few of our riders. We're going to work our way in through the climb. Let's take a little look. So we've got Foxy, Fiona Kesterman, Fiona Booker and Sonia Inslee. Of them, Foxy had the fastest time actually up there by going from the back to the front of the group. I suspect this is one man, and when we come to the end, we'll be looking for the fastest time. Pete Drabble. Here we go, just having a little bit of a stretch of his legs here today. We caught him out the back.
Yeah.
It's always a good time to catch hold of Pete Drabble here, the Hubo Automotive rider. Another of our riders signing for a top-level team. We did talk about our riders. Congratulations to Jed Smithson and to Matt Brennan. Matt Brennan and Jed both have been on the Donny Chaingang online. Matt Brennan, a regular on here in about a year ago, was on here all the time. They have just signed for the Visma Lisa bike.
You had to think then, didn't you?
I didn't want to do a Rob Hatch and put Jumbo in there.
Did he?
He did. And do you know what? He covered it very nicely as well.
Very
professional,
good.
Rob. Well done, mate. I think we're all going to be saying the wrong team names for a while. He's not going to be alone. And in fact, let's face it, anybody who's done commentary knows that you can't say as many words as we do and get them all 100% right. It's impossible. I defy anybody to do it in their own normal life. Never mind when you're trying to commentate. It's impossible.
I'm with you, Russ. I wouldn't work on instant either.
Ooh, no. Definitely not. Don't do it. Definitely not. Right, I'm on. Yeah, if anybody wants to ask anything, feel free. Regroup. Yeah, can we have a regroup? Dale Williams, have you raced on this circuit before? Good question from Dale Williams.
He's just checking out the competition.
Russ has raced here in the outdoors, as well as racing on Zwift on here. But did Ryan race on the Richmond World Circuit? It would have been for Ireland, wouldn't it? In real life, IRL, basically outdoors. That is a very good question. So just taking a little look on the screens and on the messages. One of our riders on here has just got 3 ghosts in a row at each of those. That's the last thing you need on this at the moment. It's not going to be particularly helpful. It works if you're going to go on the attack later on. Although 3 ghosts is better than having your gear cable stuck. That's definitely not such good news. So, blob up for the climb, please. Here comes a shout from Russ Downing. Blob up for the climb. The pace is quite tough today. It's been pretty quick down through here. Ryan Gigetto still get a buzz pinning on numbers. That is a very good
I like that question.
Yeah. Somebody went with the trainer difficulty thing. Definitely not. What do you think is the biggest change in training? That is good. That is like the multi-million-dollar question. Definitely. Now, I'm just thinking, I saw on here the one and only Josh Mayland. Josh, the one and only Josh Mayland, is here in the orange. Josh, in the orange with the beard, is the main man from Halo. So quite a lot of the people who support the riders on the Donny Chaingang here today. We had Halloween. They kicked off the support for the members of the DCG gang for Halloween, and Halloween was a big giveaway. We gave away £250 worth of goodies to members of the DCG gang. A massive thank you to Josh for all his support. Don't forget that there are still discount codes going out to the members for Halo, so you can use them on tyres, valves, inner tubes. You can use them on rims, wheels, apparel, whatever you want to use them for. 10% discount with that discount code. Just jump on board with them. Really interesting answer from Ryan Mullen there in terms of the biggest change. I reckon the biggest change was probably young kids not having a social life and being weapons at 16 years old and making us older guys change our ways to keep up.
Yeah, I like that answer.
It is a good answer. We will try and cover these. Best chocolate bar, Ryan Mullen, Whisper Gold.
And shall I tell you, he finished 11th in the World Time Trial Championships in Richmond.
So there you go. So Ryan Mullen, 11th in the Time Trial Championships.
In 2015.
In 2015, here in Richmond. There you go. So now let's take a little check through, just in with Paul Simonite in here. How was your time at the Planet X team? No comment, says anybody. That's an entertaining question. That could be funny. That's a loaded question if there ever was one. Peshwari or garlic naan? Ryan Mullen. Good to be fair. I remember being well proud I was on that team. Johnny Atkinson. I'm not sure that you actually want to ask that question. Ryan is the SLA worth getting involved for. Ryan Mullen, I remember being terrified of Dave Laughlin. I'm loving the answers to the team. Here we go.
Oh, good question. Any young Irish riders to look out for?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Who would you keep an eye on in the Irish peloton coming through?
Yeah, one of the other Irish riders doing really well on esports at the moment, Chris Dawson.
Yes, Chris Dawson, and a great he's a mountain biker as well. He rode,
Yeah, he rode in Glasgow at the World Champs.
Keep your eye on Darren Rafferty. Definitely got to agree with that. Remember Darren coming through the cyclocross and on the mountain bike. And a good team behind Darren Rafferty as well. And your Doherty in the women's race field, putting out consistent results as well from the Irish squad. Doing some really good results as well off-road. Interesting, he's called a couple of years. Astounding. Will you miss leading Sam out? Ooh, that's an interesting one. Were you old enough to race with Russ? On the same team, we'll see. Have you ever ridden on the road with Connor at GCN? If so, what's the draft like to sit behind him? Yeah, good question. By the way, we have already done one lap, just in case anybody was actually bothered about how far we've gone. We are already more than one lap into
We're
the
well
circuit.
into lap number 2.
We are indeed. And the kilometres, 17k on here already.
It's a fast course because of the amount of flat and the fact that the climbs are very short. The pack does roll at a really strong speed on this course.
It does. It moves very, very quickly indeed. And one rider who we know can really use that draft efficiently is Claire Richardson. Claire, another of our Irish riders.
There you go.
There you go. Amazing what you find out.
It is,
Well, she's actually in Ireland, let's say.
there you go.
Whether she qualifies for the Irish squad, I'm
And
not
she
so
is
sure.
wearing one of the best women's kits on Zwift.
You would say that, slightly biased. Yep.
No. Regularly,
Voted
the
that way,
Aeonian kit is voted one of the best women's kits on Zwift. So I'm not just, have a personal affinity with it.
Okay. One of the kits I really like is kit being worn by Finley Hudson. I'm going to try and get a shot of Finley. We're looking for the red and black sort of almost tiger stripe on there. We're going to just see if we can catch him from this side of the peloton coming through. Towards back of the group, but just moving his way up and through the pack. Now going to come out on the side. I'm hoping he's going to move to the left side, then I can just follow him with the camera. And typically he's gone to the right-hand side there. That's one of the really cracking kits on there. I have to say, some great kit being worn by Tracy and Vineke Volkanovski doing the RAF 500. Doing 500k actually on the New Year's Eve on Zwift. Absolutely mental.
Phenomenal.
But some great kit. So Ryan Mullen raced with Russ in the Sowens in 2012 when he was there as a junior, and now he's actually on the mic.
Really, were you?
Yeah, I was on the mic
There
on
you
stage
go.
2012. Yep. Yeah, 2012, stood on the stage, gobbing it off.
You just can't break the partnership of Matt and Russ, can you?
Yeah, I've even actually, there's a picture, there's a really old picture, it's quite a fun one, of us in Wales.
That's true, on the stage, I've seen that.
Yes, and that was when Russ was riding in the Colt racing team, I think it was. Got to be very careful how you say that one on the mic. Also, even before that, in fact, there's been a fair few chats on the stage, one way or another. Okay. Let's take a little bit of a run through. Good, so we've got Andy Verrill on here.
Yeah.
Andy, of course, one of our really strong riders, one of the men who has been responsible for bringing a lot of the riders onto the continent. So when we talk about riders progressing through the Donny Chaingang, Andy Verrill, one of the real heroes of cycling, and quite often not acknowledged for the amount of work he's done. One of the real stars. So good to see Andy tucked in here. Just taking a little check through here. We've got Miss Finley Hudson, Josh Mayland. Let's take a little look. Rich Langmead is in here. None of our regular riders in here. So let's take a little bit of a check. 35 minutes into the ride. We're on to lap number 2. We are about to make our way in onto the single track section. Effectively, it's where the handle of the basically the spade is. If you imagine at the top, the fan flat section, this is a spade. This is a long handle here. So there we go. Ryan Mullen was an 80 kilo, 17-year-old. He was a big lad, was Ryan.
How tall is Ryan?
Ryan,
how tall are you?
Ryan is he's tall. He's a time trial. He's got loads of power.
Hold on a
We'll
minute.
soon find out.
I can find out how tall he is.
Get some stalking done, aka research.
1.89 m.
1 metre 89. So that is 7 centimetres over 6 foot. So that is 6'3".
It's quite tall then.
Yes. It is a windy course at Sowens. Eddie Sowens actually is on. Sowens is actually on a motor racing circuit. In fact, the British Grand Prix was held at Eddie Sowens, and I think that Sterling Moss's first win in a British Grand Prix, I think, was on the Eddie Sowens motor circuit. And the motor circuit, like the horse racing circuit, used to cross the road. It goes across the road and they lay sand on the road, close the road obviously, put sand down, and then you went across, round through the grandstands and back in. But of course, with motor racing circuits and needing barriers and changing from the days of Stirling Moss, it was no good for that, but it's still used for not just horse racing, but also for stones. There you go. Ooh. So Neil is going off early. He's a final national trophy on Saturday, so he's going to be there maybe on next week. Thanks, Russ. No problems at all. Good luck, Ryan. Yeah, definitely. Definitely the case. Okay. So his course is like Darley.
Oh my gosh, how many cross races have I done at Darley in the snow? I remember one year the kids were using the bin drums as fires to try and stay warm. And we were racing in thermal padded jackets.
So that sums up Darley Moor, the Eddie Sowing circuit, which is, that cold. And also, I'll tell you where else is like that, Peel Park has its own microclimate like that as well. It's absolutely blinking Baltic. One year after the Eddie Sowings, actually, I gave away the trophies. I was at the Liverpool Century dinner after being on the mic on the Saturday at the Sowings. I had a day in Parr Street Record Studios chatting with the record guys there, and then went off to the dinner for the Liverpool Century, and then after the dinner we went back to Parr Street Studios that has a bar in it now as well. And then Sunday I have no recollection of whatsoever.
I'm not surprised.
No, it was a great weekend, I think. Ooh, who remembers Scampton? That's the same. No, but I do remember racing round Church Fenton and round Barnbow. There you go. That's an old school for you, round Barnbow. Russ used to watch his old man race around Scampton. You're not watching much around there at the moment, apart from bulldozers, sadly. Did you know RS Scampton is responsible for changing the route, the old Roman road that came from Lincoln heading up towards the Humber? And it's dead arrow straight, and you go out from Lincoln, and then all of a sudden it does this bypass around the side of RF Scampton, north of Lincoln. And when you ride it, if you're stupid enough to ride on the A15 in the daytime, because it's absolutely busy as anything, you ride up there, and then all of a sudden it's dead straight, and then there's this big turn out round the side, and that's around the side of RF Scampton, because the runways basically overlap on to the A15. It's the old run at the side. No escaping the wind there. No, it blows all the way across, basically from the Peak District across to the Lincolnshire Wolds. And but of course, I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of people who've ridden the Lincoln GP. A race that I am desperate to get back on the mic for, but can't.
There you go.
It clashes.
It escapes
every freaking weekend, every time. Okay. Now we're on lap 2. We are well on our way around. We're heading back in towards the descent. Not sure where it's going to go. We are at the warning point in time. We are.
I don't know about the warning point. We are at the watch point.
Well, yes, but this is the point at which it kind of like has a habit of getting a little bit spicy somewhere along the way in. The fact that there's a long chat going on might distract Russ a little bit.
Well, you never know, or it might inspire him.
Well, that's the worry ever. There you are. I think inspire is the word. There you go. Look at that. Brings goosebumps all over me. Lincoln, yes, Ryan Mullen Lincoln, the infamous cobbles up Michael Gate.
It's such a good one to watch as well.
It's amazing to watch. Go out, go there. I remember when we were there and it was a national. It was super long. It was they had the long course and the short course. Absolutely brilliant. Lincoln is probably the best circuit. The best favourite domestic race, past or present. Lincoln, definitely. Maybe should have been 9. It may not be 9. I can't remember how many times Russ actually. You know, it's terrible, isn't it? It's that memory scrub that happens when you commentate on events. You have to be able to scrub one event into the next one. If you can remember absolutely everything. 4 times. Thank you, Russ. 4 times Russ won that on there. And I've had the pleasure of chatting with Russ actually on the stage at Lincoln when he was out injured as well. And we've also done quite a lot of chats on there, one way or another, about all sorts of things over the years. And you have also had chats with Russ on the Crit Series, haven't you? Because for the Crit Series, introduced last year, there was a VIP come and chat with people, and part of that, if you were looking after supporting the Crit Series, one of their VIP guests at the National Crit Series, you could go and Emma was hosting the chats.
Yeah, both Dudley and Newark, and that was fantastic because both Russ and Dean were part and parcel of that VIP Q&A session. So VIP dinner followed by a chat with Russ and Dean, and really great, fabulous evenings.
They were good evenings. It was really good to have you able to come and join me afterwards for the Crits as well. It's a great action in both those. Very different weather though between the two. Sunny in Newark, and we won't describe the weather in Dudley. Apart from it was much like the last 10 days have been up till yesterday. Yeah, definitely. Okay, like in that Malkin his comeback period, wanting Lincoln more than anything. Yeah, I bet, definitely. Okay, lots of chatting.
Yeah, and you know what? We're 43 minutes in and 23.5 kilometres complete.
I know, total distance today.
49.1 to the finish line.
And that means it is 3 laps of 16.2k. Total, we are on lap 2 of 3. Making our way out and round. Looking good at the moment. I am absolutely loving the idea of Ryan Williams. He toyed with the idea of doing a year on the domestic circuit when his World Tour days are over and just going full beans for Lincoln and the National 10. And don't forget, and then retire after that. Love it, Ryan. Absolutely love it. Don't forget it's been done with, between the two, a helicopter.
There you go.
Race on the road in Lincoln. Who can tell me who did that? That's a good question. Who did the infamous trip of racing at Lincoln, jumping in a helicopter, and then doing the National 10 Time Trial Championship? If you can tell me that answer, then you've got a great statistical memory. There's only one rider that's done it. It's very, very good, though. It was an absolutely super trick. Went by helicopter. Chris Board, just keep Russ chatting. Before you know it, it'll be over. Yeah, that's the tactic we used to use actually when we used to chat with Russ on the show. Well,
we are about to drop down and then head on to the bottom section of the course before we hit the first climb. So transitioning into the second half of the second lap.
Indeed, so into the second half of the second lap, heading in towards the descent. So if you remember, looks like Richmond at the moment.
It's flooded.
It is. It's like most places.
Oh my
at the
God!
moment here.
It's like the golf course I drove past just down the road from here.
Yes, it is like the golf course just down the road from Eckington, where we're based, on the way to Renshaw. I mean, whoever the driver was who absolutely soaked me the other night by driving through at 90 mile an hour deliberately because I was stood at the side of the road, I will find you. So Russ hasn't got YouTube on. Don't worry, buddy. You've been talking lots and lots on the way through. We've just keep it on going. I'm leaving the camera on him now. The remote is in the house for the TV screens. I'm doing quite well today. I only have 4 screens around me today. Emma's on 2, I think. Emma's having a light day today. 2 screens. Russ is on, I dread to think how many. Don't know how many screens, we'll find out.
Oh, he's probably got banging tunes in his ears instead.
Well, that might be needed because it's heading up, it's speeding up. How fast is it going to be? When is it going to go? We will see.
Well, he's just dropped an anvil, so Russ Downing, our yellow beacon, heading down the descent with a yellow beacon over his head and an anvil.
Well, he's going to be using that anvil to a degree on this flat section, not necessarily where he needed it. And maybe you mistimed that because an anvil plus 3 Gs and 3 Os would have been a mean move, but quite a neat one. Whether or not he decides to go with that, we'll see. Just jumping up with the helicopter camera here on the Donny Chaingang. Quick reminder, you can jump on board and ride. Really easy to do so. Just register www www.buytickets.ash/Formula Events. Free to register on a Thursday. Members only ride on a Tuesday. And open to all women only Wednesday. All women riders, women only Wednesday. And we have a women's only week.
We do.
Coming up.
We are having a women's only Wednesday meet-up in France.
You are indeed. I'd say we are.
I was
You
gonna say,
are.
yeah, it's just there's two of us in the studio, so it's a plural, isn't it? But there is indeed a women's only Wednesday meet-up in France in May.
In May, so if you want details of that, get in touch. Jump on the Facebook page
Yep.
for the Wow the Women Only Wednesday. There's a Women's Only Wednesday meet-up. It is a Women's Only week in France with lots of riding and all sorts of fun things by the looks of it.
Yeah, so plenty of riding, long riding, short riding, slow riding, fast riding, cafe riding, wild swimming, yoga, social activities, and there may be a bit of gin and cake thrown in.
Sounds good to me. Not going to be in for that one, unfortunately, but I am going to be around when we do another week. We have got a second week planned in France, and this isn't a women's only week. This is a week for us. This is going to be one where potentially riders can come out. Now, we are going to be doing some pre-rides and some little tasters of the sections, some sneaky peeks at the rides that are coming up on the Nord Charente, the Flandrian weekend in September. This September the 7th and 8th, 2 days of riding for proper Yorkshire folk.
You don't have to be a proper Yorkshire folk.
No, but you do
You
need
can
to
be
have some
any
Yorkshire
county.
grit in your spirit, and you need to be ready to ride really hard, because it's great to just ride around, but my goodness, it's tough at the front of it as well. It's a bit like the Donny Chaingang in that sense, that it is not the easiest thing in the world. It ain't easy, because it is the section that goes, first of all, on Saturday off-road, 3 distances up to 160k off-road.
Yep.
Absolute killer, brilliant, sunshine,
Fabulous.
feed zones with red wine and cake and cheese and all sorts in there, as well as proper food. And of course, then on the Sunday is the Flandrian. Now this uses tarmac roads mostly, but they are bumpy, they are broken, it's very Flandrian. Think cobbles, think steep climbs, think bergs, muurs and walls, think some fantastic scenery as well. But suitable for a gravel bike with road tyres, or suitable for a road bike with decent sized tyres. And don't come with your little old school 19mm race tyres. You're going to find you're going to get a puncture somewhere out there, and you're not going to get the power down. Now, Russ just out on the front as he makes his way in and around. 2 great guests, actually, speaking of pro riders, which we've just been doing with Ryan Mullen. 2 great guests coming to that weekend. We're going to have Johan Museo there and Nico Matan. So the Lion of Flanders is coming to the Flandrian weekend. We're going to be doing Rat Round rides on the Thursday, and on the Friday we're also going to be doing Rat Round rides on the Monday and Tuesday. Whether or not you're going to be able to use a coffee break on the climb, getting ready for the 3Gs, when we've got like 90 million coffee.
Cheeky.
Oh, it is. It's they're getting
Go
them
on,
out of the
Russ
way.
now just needs to wait until all those
It's
coffee
going to wait
cups
till all those coffee
disappear.
cups disappear, Ross. You just might have to hold it a little bit longer, buddy. But we have only got 3 climbs on here, plus another lap.
Yep.
Tactical coffee breaks all over the place.
Yeah, but your tactical coffee break has to be in the right place.
But I think it's delayed the 3Gs, because I
Well-
reckon he might have gone then.
yeah, but he might not go now. Who knows? Because Russ can't hear us. He's got no idea what we're chatting about.
And he never pays any attention anyway.
Yeah.
It's going to be lastminute.com. It is going to be lastminute.com.
Oh, 1 lap to go. It's going to be a hot lap.
Well, we've 1 lap and 3 climbs, haven't we, at the moment? It's going to be 1 lap and 2 climbs. Have all the coffee breaks gone? No, look, they're still there. Sneaky.
They last
sneaky,
either
sneaky.
they last a long time,
They
or
do
people,
last a
or
long
they're
time.
waving through the peloton at the moment.
No, they do last a long time.
It's about 2 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, basically until you basically restart pedaling.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So Rocket Espressos are going out and round from the fuel team. So fuel coffee through the Rocket Espresso machine. So we're in with Mr. Forrester as we come around the turn here. First of our 2 hairpin turns. Everybody looking like they're kind of together-ish. I love the ish. There's a couple of people just started to be distanced out at the back of the group. But at the moment, pretty much most people together. Because we've got Johnny Atkinson in here from the Cryogen team. one of our regular riders. You can spot those people on a coffee break. They're not pedalling up the climb.
Yeah, you know.
We can actually take it out, but we haven't done because it's very, very handy. If you do need to go pick your bottle up off the floor, if Norman pulls your coffee cup off the sofa, if you do need to attend to business, is the words used by Zwift.
There you go.
Employ it. A lot of these people employing it has come up over the top of climb number 1 on lap number 2 of 3.
There you go.
Anyway,
we are about to.
The weather been nice today?
Well, it's been lovely, but we are going
Lovely.
over the top of Libby Hill,
tell you
and
what,
then
it's
we
broken,
are
isn't
going to
it?
drop down to 23rd Street, where Peter Sagan attacked.
Now I'm just going to taking a little bit of a look back here. We've got a few people just starting to be distanced off the back of the group. Jimmy Allen, the Wolf himself, is off the back. Talking on the line of Flanders, we've got the Wolf of the Chaingang.
He's having a steady ride.
Yeah, he is indeed. Looks like we've also got Samuel Taylor off the back, which is not like Samuel. He's clearly, maybe he's racing later on something, I don't know.
Who knows?
Jim
Some
Flynn just coming up to the top of the climb.
Yep.
We've got Rob Varty, Brett Dowtry, Mr. Gillard, looks like Ben Cokin also not holding the back of the group. Looks like Fiona Kesteven just being distanced a little bit on this descent. So there is quite a group. Jimmy Allen says he wishes he was going steady. He's been ill.
Oh, no. There are quite a few people have been ill, actually, by the look of it. There
Jimmy,
has been some very nasty bugs going around this time of year.
Unless you've got that really nasty cough cold. And the go has gone. I was going to send him hugs. He needs more than hugs to get on now. The go has gone.
Oh, and look at the orange going everywhere. 11, 12, 10, 9, 8 watts per kilo coming out. It is a fire with orange.
It certainly is. And look at that. Finley Hudson goes over the top in one pull. Simonite there, who we jumped in with, went pretty much from the back to the front. So everybody enjoy yourselves. A massive thanks to Ryan from Ross and from us here in the studios. The go has gone, and it is frantic now because they are spread all over the road. If you look at the satellite view, top right hand side of your screen, if we zoom out, you can see that there are people still ascending 23rd Street as they start chasing down into the descent. Looks like Tim from Full Speed Events.
He's got an anvil.
He's chucked the anvil in on the way through there. Looks like Tim is determined to mix it up tonight. Great to see at the moment. He's in a very select group up near the front here with A.D. Dench at the moment leading this out. So it looks like the Team Sheffield rider, A.D., the man from the Beers and Bikes, with Oxon and with Chopin, with Mullen, who he's in, no surprises there. We've got Gelsop, we've got Finley Hudson in, we've got Greg Booker on board as well.
Tell you, it is a big group at the front at the moment, and the rest of the riders behind are all over the road, like Skittles that climb was in terms of this peloton, and that is a big leading group.
And it's also distanced our yellow beacon. Russ Downing is at the moment 5 seconds off the group in front. And that means that he's got some work to do if he wants to get up to the leading group on the climb that is coming up. They're not far up, but he's going to come onto the back. He was dropped typing.
I understand his issues there. I thoroughly empathise.
It is
easily done, I tell you.
It is being a yellow beacon. The accepted estimation seems to be about 20% harder than normal when you are being a beacon than riding normally, because of the effort to keep an eye on, watch everybody, type to everybody, message everybody that people don't see on the screens, as well as set the pace, make sure that you know where everything is going. Now, the riders are on to this climb. We're seeing it well and truly strung out. There are gaps opening up. Greg Booker has decided he can't sit on the wheels at the back anymore. He's starting to kick onwards here because he can see up on the front that we have got a bit of a move being made by Ryan Mullen. Mullen is at, well, he was just over 8 watts per kilo.
Now, these guys need to be really steady here because we've got one more full lap, and the first 6 kilometres of the final lap are flat. A group working together will catch a breakaway on that section of course.
They will, but here's a who's who for you. Ryan Mullen, Pete Trouble, Phil Holwell,
Well,
Finley Hudson, Greg Booker, Gelsop, Cooley, Mayland, Oxenhope, chopping Wallace, Dench, Simon out. I mean, that's just
No,
the
you see,
first
actually
15.
we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders within a second of each other at the moment, and then a 15, 16, 17 second gap back to the chasing group. That chasing group could stand a chance of bringing those 6 riders back, but they have got to get their act together and get their act together quickly.
So Group 2 in the centre of your screens with Aaron Cooley right in the middle of that group. Group 1 are up across and underneath the lap banner with 1 lap to go. The yellow beacon is trying to bridge across to group number 2. At the moment, Downing off Group 2.
Oh, and I tell you, that's Tim from Full Speed Events trying to get onto the back of Ross's wheel at the moment, trying to take the toe to the group, and he's going to jump into that draft.
Well, let's see if he's going to help Downing on his way through. So Tim from Full Speed Events is going to pick it up. Come on, Russ, get on that wheel, mate. I've suffered on the back of this wheel a number of times. I'll tell you something, it's well worth grabbing a hold of, and Russ just getting going for the aero. These two could make it across, having had Tim work for us in the studio. He's like a terrier once he gets a job a bit between his teeth, and I think they are going off in pursuit, but they are going to be, even if they make contact, and at the moment I think it's about 4 seconds from the Full Speed Events rider. That's Tim with so Tim Ellsworth at the moment with Russ Downing on his heels. They're going to make contact here. I think they're about 3 seconds away from this group, but this group are giving away 25 seconds to the leaders, and this is some firepower.
It's still 16 kilometres to go.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Are you ready? We've got Drabble's one on here. Finley Hudson's one on here. Phil Holwell has almost won and should win on here. You've got in there Gelsop, absolutely class rider as well. You've got Booker Bicklewitz. He's done this before. Brooker's taken several wins on here. Yep. You've got Ryan Mullen, you know, just some no-name World Tour rider, absolutely multi-time national champion. Let's face it, this
who is
is
just procrastinating his packing.
Procrastinating his packing. I hope he's doing more than that, like actually not thinking about the packing at the moment. The riders are trying to chase here, and at the moment the rider they are left chasing is Ryan Mullen. Mullen's got a bit of a shift on here. He's not waiting for them.
I'll tell you what, Drabble's the only one to go with him at the moment, and Hudson is pushing, and so is Hall as well, because those riders don't want to be left behind. And at the moment the rider left behind is Booker, 3 seconds back.
So you've got to be on the wheels. You've got to be able to answer these. You can't afford to let those gaps go as they come through the leafy suburbs here in Richmond, in Virginia, on Zwift. You can see that leading group of 6 are coming back in together. Russ, I think, throwing the sarcastic thanks for waiting, lads, out there, because it looks like he's nearly got on board and then has been dispatched off the back.
I'll tell you what, a Full Speed Event. Tim's been dropped, but Downing is getting back to the chase group. But the chase group are now, I'm looking at that, I'd say that's 20-something seconds behind the 6 up the front.
Yeah, 24 seconds or so, I think, was the time check that I just saw flick across our screen. That is from Phil Holwell. Bearing in mind that Drabble is now on the front.
Drabble and Mullen are giving these guys a right workout tonight. They are working them out, they're working them hard, and they're working them hard early.
They are, and we're not yet round the turn, and we've got a lap to go. And the only hope, I think, for that chasing group is that with all of this frantic action, with this constant aggression on the front, that as they take chunks out of each other, they're not going to leave enough left of the riders to be able to survive the last 3 climbs in one piece. We're already seeing this group start to fracture, break, and come back together again. And the more it does that, the more likely the group behind are to come back to them.
Well, at 27 seconds now, I'm not sure they are going to come back. There's less than 14 kilometres to go now, a long flat section, and then we roll into those climbs. I think, my prediction, this is it. This is the group.
Okay, well, let's see. We have Mullen on the front. from the Borough Hansgrove team. We've got Drabble in there, man who's just signed for a Continental team. We've got Hudson in there, too young to sign anything other than his GCSE mock paperwork coming up in a couple of years. You've got in there Greg Booker, who probably can't remember his GCSEs, if he even went to school to do them. I'm sure he did. He's probably a very smart cookie.
He is. He has a very an engineering degree, I think.
There you go. That is insider information. Greg Booker has an engineering degree. I'm not sure what degree Mr. Holwell has, other than him being an exceptionally fast rider in the Peak District as well as on the cross. Actually, last saw him competing outdoors on the Yorkshire Cross that we went to go watch in Graves Park in Sheffield.
Well, talking about watching in Graves Park, we're watching at the moment as those numbers go orange again on the front because a push has come again from Mullin. The push is coming, and that group, well, a group of 6 is not small enough for him. He wants to whittle that down further. So another push coming on the front. Drabble responding, Hull responding. It's Hudson and Booker who are not in the mix at the moment. So 3 riders, a small gap, and then the chasing group.
I tell you who's going to be having a hard time here. That is Finley Hudson. Because Finley Hudson, he's one of our lighter riders, which means whilst he might kick out lots of watts per kilo, you multiply not a lot by 15 watts per kilo, but not a lot of kilos, it's still not huge pure wattage.
Yeah, but come
not
on, the
pure
kudos.
watts.
The kudos. Last night, I was riding with a World Tour rider who is heading to the Tour Down Under.
I think in Finley Hudson, it's not about riding, it's about beating.
Oh,
and it's doable. It is doable. Let's face it. This is a Chaingang. It ain't easy. And nobody's giving anybody a hard time. Phil Holwell, who just came up to the group, who's just got off the front here at 5.5 watts per kilo. And I think Booker is starting to be distanced off the back with the group in between.
He is indeed absolutely distanced off the back. So this group of 6 is no longer a group of 6.
Oh, look at these droppers coming across as well. This is going to be good.
Yeah. We got 3 seconds back to Mullin at the moment. Is he going to cross over? I think he's pushing a bit. He's pushing at 8.5. His numbers have just turned orange because 2 riders are challenging him off the front. So he is now pushing. Hudson is trying desperately to go with her. And Booker, well, I think the tow rope has snapped.
Oh, you see, and this is what I mean. That riders, when they come off the front now, are going to they're going to get hoovered up because the group behind are going to be doing like 4 watts per kilo. When you've been trying to stay with this leading group, we've all done it. We've all tried to stay with riders who are just that bit faster, and eventually our legs go, no, thank you. Get off the bus and get back. And that's what happens. And when that happens, then you get passed by everybody. That's what it feels like. It's you've got to have some serious recovery to be able to get that back. At the moment, Booker is 26 seconds from the group behind, and I think that is likely to come down. But, you know, this is Greg Booker. This is somebody who's won on the Chaingang before, somebody who can climb. He's a hill climb winner, multiple hill climb winner. Be very interested to see what happens now. A little bit further back behind this group, that chasing group, they're at 46 seconds. This is the group with Russ Downing in. So this is the Yellow Beacon group. Tough day for a lot of riders here. A little bit further back is going to be the Forester group.
Yeah, look at them. Look at it. It is absolutely split to shreds. Claire Richardson in that group as well. So is Fiona Booker. So a number of our female riders in that group. You know, what are they? Taking a look. That's 14 seconds back off the group in front.
So just taking a look. Yellow Beacon is group 2. Group 3, group 4. This is group 5, I think. Eddie Dench hating the course. Yep. Understand that. I absolutely love it because it's horrible. It is a very, very tough course with that flat section. For anybody who is wondering, are the Bookers related? Yes, they are. They're brother and sister.
They are indeed. And I have just had confirmation. Aerospace engineering, Greg Booker.
Aerospace engineering for Greg Booker.
Yeah.
Okay. Greg's teammate, Mr. Westwood, currently just in pretty much in no man's land at the moment with Lane. They are chasing the group of Osman Elliott. Dale Williams is in here. I think this is going to be the group which is chasing group 2, which is the Downing group. So group 2. Aaron Cooley had his chain come off. That's not good news. Meanwhile, up at the front, this is what's left. And it is
Look,
what's
there's
left.
another dig coming. You know, we've seen them take a breath and drop back to 2.5 watts per kilo, suck in that air and get their lungs full again. And now they're kicking again, kicking and pushing hard.
Mullen attacking, Drabble responding, jumping onto the wheel. Holwell in third position. Then it's Hudson in fourth place at the moment. They all know that Mullen has got a big target on his back. He can have as much camo kit as he wants. They know he's the man to follow here. And here's the man that they're going to let do the work. 30 seconds back to Booker. Booker at the moment now 17 seconds and coming down quick. 15 seconds now down to the chasing group behind him to group number 2. So Booker is left. He was ejected out unceremoniously. The bond button had been pushed. He was ejected out the car.
Ejected through the roof of the car.
Yes, not in the way of the latest Bond films where he comes down nice and smoothly.
Comes down nice
initially.
and smooth with a little parachute.
Yeah, looking all suave. No, Greg
Yeah.
Booker's the guy who gets ejected out and doesn't have the parachute because he's gone backwards so quick. He's got now, if we take a look, I think that's going to be a very fast catch behind Booker here. There you go. That is the group that's coming up behind him. So Greg Booker, who was in that leading group, they're on the way in. They're coming up to his wheels. It's 3 seconds. The chase is being led by Cooley. That is group number 2 are going to become a solid group chasing the leaders. So the leaders at the moment, 47 seconds down the road. This is group 2 now catching Greg Booker, who has got to do some serious recovery in here and try and stay in there. You can see how fast we're going by the number of the confetti in there. Group 3 at the moment, a further 46 seconds down, so that is now a minute and a half basically down
Yeah.
the leaders.
And that is pretty much, we are now coming to the end of the flat section on the final lap.
So at the front, I'm going to put my teeth in, up at the front of the race, we currently have a very fast group in front of this group number 2. That group of riders are basically 4 riders strong. You have got Finley Hudson in the almost tiger style kit on the front there. You've got Drabble on the pink Tron bike in the blue and white. You have got Phil Holwell. Holwell is currently riding on the yellow Tron bike and the orange and yellow kit. And you have got Ryan Mullen in the grey camo kit, who is currently riding on the black bike on there, just diving down at the back of that group. So 4 riders on here. Drabble, probably the rider who has been on the top step of the Donny Chaingang the most in recent history. In recent history, not always, but definitely in recent history. You've got Finley, he's been there. You've got Holwell. Not sure Phil's taken a win. But I'll tell you something, he's probably been top 3 more times than anybody in the last few weeks. Then you've got in there Ryan Mullen. This is a very star-studded group. Now, Mullen just dropping off the back of this pack. We are in the lower slopes in here. The action is so exciting that Indy the Trail Dog has joined us down in the studio to see what all the noise is about. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. What is Mullen going to do? Where will he try and go?
Well,
Surely he's not going to want to take this in. He's going to have some sore legs on that
Well, he's
flight.
got a bit of recovery going on at the moment because he's dropped to the back of the group. He's taking the tow, he's taking the draft, and he is lowering that heart rate at the moment because the 3 climbs are to come. Libby Hill, 23rd Street, and then the climb up to the finish. And now he's kicking, he's coming back to that group because Finley Hudson is on his wheel. So bringing the group back together, I think that was a little bit of pull it together, get your heart rate down, just a drab. Let's get this party started for the finish.
Well, you could just see Drabble there, just seeing that we got a little bit of a gap opened up. Finley Hudson and Ryan Mullen just drifting off the back of the group, and it means that Drabble accelerated up there into the 6 watts per kilo marker. Holwell just kicking over that little incline there. It's not the easiest part of the course here with that slight increase as they come up the slope there. And at the moment, the 4 riders are together. Now, this is where you want to start thinking about what you're going to do. where are you going to be
Yeah,
moving?
that's it, isn't it? Because this climb, Libby Hill, is actually quite a longer. It's the longest of the climbs.
Okay, let's keep an eye on these riders. So here we go, just watching from the vegetation at the moment. We're just spearing our way through, and we're just going to try and stay in with that leading group. Not the easiest of things to do because the riders are just jumping around all over the place, desperate not to miss the action here. We've got our secret weapon employed on the sections here as we make our way in through, and that is the companion app by Swift. It doesn't give us the second chance to jump back in with the leading group.
Well, I'll tell you, this leading group are now a minute ahead of the chasing group, and the chasing group have swallowed up Greg Booker, who was part and parcel of this original 6-man breakaway. It's now down to 4.
Drabble, Holwell, Hudson, Mullen. 4 very fast, very, very good quality riders. All of which have different strengths, different sizes at the moment, though. The wind-up is coming, and it's coming at the moment from Drabble. He's on the front. He's going to have to be keeping an eye on his rear view mirrors. You can just see them heading off into the distance. He's on the front. He has got Holwell on his wheels, and another 2-second gap just opening up to Hudson. And it's drifting Mullen off the back here. This, I wonder how much they paid Finley not to chase. But tell you what, Finley's riding smart. He's letting Mullen have to do all the chase.
Yeah, he is indeed, and why not? Because Drabble is the person who is on the front here, but Hudson is letting Mullen chase. Now the question is, can Hudson go with this, or is this going to come down to 3?
I think it's going to come down to 1 personally, but let's see if that's going to be the case. Fastest time so far on the King of the Mountain up here, 1:55.2. That's actually from Ryan Mons. It's 1:55.2. That's the time to keep in mind, 1:55.2. Will it still be 1:55.2? I'll put you any amount of money. It's not going to be 1:55.2. Surely these riders are not just going to look at each other.
Well, you just don't know there. This is the first of 3 climbs before that finish line. There is 4.1 kilometres to go. 3 climbs, 4K, 4 riders.
Round the turn we go. Holwell now putting in the first of the digs on the front here. The response coming, 10 watts per kilo coming from Drabble in the second position. I think the power has snapped at Hudson. 4 have become 3 with the pace being set by Phil Holwell up here. So climb 1 has dispatched 1. It's brought them down to 3 riders. It's Mullen, Holwell and Drabble. And it is Holwell who has done the work, who is going to now have to see if he can hang on to the wheels or whether or not these 3 are going to ride through together. I don't think Finley Hudson's going to be able to jump in. Great riding by Finley to last this long with the quality and the age, the experience and the strength of those riders in front, but not to be his day
Impressive.
today. Yeah, good riding by the youngster there, but we have 3 riders together, and I think we are now in that little bit of a lull.
Yeah, it is indeed, and it is a bit of a lull. Look at that. Travel down to 1 watt per kilo.
I'm not surprised. Taking it steady there. Jimmy's got spag bog.
Oh, I love a spag bog.
Definitely. Get well, Jimmy. Don't do too much. Eat well. Rest lots. Normally it's ride lots, eat lots and sleep lots to get quick. But you know what? I think today, rest lots, eat lots, sleep lots. Jimmy, get well soon. Okay, back with leading group. All 3 riders on that descent were sitting and taking a break there. 3 super tucks as they came down there. The question will be, who is going to go? Jimmy's going to go for double helmet. Now the kick comes. Now first person to jump was Drabble at 12.5 watts per kilo. He went hard. He was the first of the riders going up onto the top. Holwell has gone over the top with a feather, though, and he has gone round Drabble here. Are they going to be able to drop Mullen? Is the pro just going to sit there and wait for the very last? Remember, the first climb of lap number 3 saw one rider distance, and at the moment Mullen has got work to do. He's onto the wheels here of Drabble, but Ryan Mullen is now sat waiting.
Yeah, well, he's waiting and he's taking a toe from Drabble, because I think Mullen is waiting for Drabble to close the gap, and he's going to let him close it. The question is he going to go with him?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's just picked up the pace a little bit on that descent to get that momentum up, but Drabble is closing the gap, and look at the arrows being put in.
You got Phil Holwell, leader here at the moment, with that Super Tuck in there. He's coming down. He's being caught by Drabble, who's going to be the first rider onto his wheels. He makes contact in the blue. Then Mullen comes in and around the turn. Holwell is kicking again to get onto Drabble's wheel. You saw him up at 9 watts per kilo there. Now, for those of you who don't know Phil Holwell is a very lightweight rider in terms of body mass. He's a very, very, very lean machine. That means that when he puts the numbers in, he's going to go up in those watts per kilo. Big style. Has he got the power to finish this off? Look at this. A little bit of freewheeling there from Mullen. He doesn't want to be on the front as they come up in towards the climb.
Well, neither does Drabble. Drabble's just come off the pace as well. They all want to be on the back because they all want to take that draft and that slingshot through.
And get that surprise that takes you up and past people before they can react. But these three are going to be watching each other like hawks. This is about who's got the most left in the legs. Remember, we finish today, quick reminder, we finish at the lap arch, not at the blue banner, but at the lap arch. Don't want Ryan, who's a newbie, not to know that. So you finish at the lap arch.
49.1 kilometres.
Not at the blue banner, because that is where our finish is. It is at the top of the climb. As you go over the top, you'll see the banner up there. There is not the blue banner. Hopefully Russ is going to remind everybody we finish at the lap arch, not at the blue banner, or he's already told Ryan that. But I'm sure the rest of the riders in this leading group will not be thinking that.
Well, 1,000 metres, 900 metres now to go. And away the first kick comes. The first kick's coming from Phil Holwell. Drabble now responding. Mullen not yet put the power down. He's now lying in third.
He's at 3 seconds at the moment. Ryan Mullen keeping an eye. He's going to have to watch that time. Holwell's at 4 seconds. Has he done as much as he's prepared to do in the run into the Tour Down Under? At the moment, you've got Holwell in 1, you've got Drabble in 2, and you have got a distance. I'm going to say that again. When you've got a distance, Ryan Mullen, who now has backed off the pace to 3.5 watts per kilo. These two are already around the left-hand turn. You can just see the arch glinting in the distance, and Drabble is fighting to get onto the back wheel of Phil Holwell. We're already around that turn. It seems to take me like weeks to get up that climb. They've just shot up that in seconds so quickly.
I know, and I have to say that orange banner doesn't come as quick as you think it's going to, as these two are playing cat and mouse with each other.
So now the watts per kilo drop down. Mullen's at 17 seconds. Drabble
he's
kicks.
gone!
He went early. It's going to be Drabble who's kicked early here. Holwell, I think, has been caught napping, but it's a long way to the line. He should be able to do it. It is going to be Phil Drabble who's going to come through to take the win here today. Drabble takes it today, win 1. A great ride by Phil Holwell to come through to take second place here on the Donny Chaingang. It's going to be a third place here. Another podium to add to his extensive and incredible palmares. Ryan Mullen of the Bora Hansgrove team. Third place today here on the Donny Chaingang. But I think he's won a lot of people's hearts today, and he's going to get a lot of support as he makes his way down under. So congratulations, Ryan. Thank you for joining us. Heroics of the day may well be with this man. Certainly in terms of our Young Rider Award, he would be fighting for combativity potentially with Mr. Holwell there. But I tell you something, This young man has done an amazing job. Finley Hudson is going to come through. It's going to be a 4th place for him today as he comes in through the gantry. It's going to be a 5th place, I think, for Greg Booker. He's got a little bit of a gap. He's opened it, and he's kept clear of those chasers. He was in that breakaway for a long time. Greg Booker is going to come through. He is going to take away 5th place. Now, the bunch are chasing for 6th, and I think Aidan Dench has got it. He has. Dench gets 6th. So, 7th place is going to be Simon Choppin. Sean Moore is going to be our rider in 8th. If he can stay clear of a very hard chasing Paul Cyberknight. Cyberknight comes through behind. Russ, I think, is going to hold on to take a 10th place today.
He is indeed. So, Russ coming through in 10th.
It's going to be an 11th. Who's it going to be? This is going to be tight. Simon Oxenham, one of our regular riders up at the front. He rolls through in 11th place, a 12th place for Aaron Cooley.
Yep, so Wallace then looking like he's going to come through. He's got a 20-second gap on Hawkins, but Hawkins has got a group with him, you know, and they are chasing and chasing hard, trying to get inside that top 15. 13th is going to go to Wallace.
So Benedict Wallace of the BRC Club making his way up to the line. Lucky or unlucky 13, depends on your point of view. Some great riding now. This is the run from the next group.
I'll tell you what, there's a kick coming from behind. Tim at Full Speed Events is gone, but so's Mick Hawkins. Hawkins and Tim pushing and pushing hard. These two riders now going neck and neck for this sprint, but it's Mick Hawkins who takes 14th spot.
It is. It's going to be a 15th place, I think, for Tim from Full Speed Events. Then it's going to be Atkinson going through, followed by Leach, followed by Williams, followed by Pearson. Osman is going to come through in 19th position with Trenchard in 20th place. Elliott's going to take 21st. Alexander's going to be the rider who's going to come through in, I think, 22nd spot, which gives us a little bit of a chance to draw breath.
Yeah, just take a breath and breathe in, because Alexander coming up to that orange banner signifying the end of this course. It's been fast, it's been furious, and boy has there been some killer attacks and a large amount of orange numbers. Alexander comes under there, under the banner to finish that, just dropping back now, and it's Westwood from Summit looking like they're going to be the next rider through. 18 seconds clear of lane, so Westwood the rider coming in now for 23rd place.
So just going to try and take a little bit of a jump back down this straight. We are going to try and follow everybody through. Lane was the rider we were hunting for. Now we've managed to get back in with Chris Lane. He's ahead of, I think, what's going to be potentially one of our fastest female riders. It could well be that Fiona Booker is going to be taking that. So it's going to be Lane who goes through. We're going to drop back with Fiona Booker. Now we know she can sprint. She's been doing this on the Chaingang. She's got 24
there
seconds
she goes.
back.
She winds it up, and it's 9 watts per kilo from Fiona Booker. Now 12 and a half. 13 watts per kilo from Fee Booker. That is one woman on form at the moment, taking that sprint.
Takes the 3-up sprint there, just timing it right to go through ahead of Steve Catlin and Paul Mallin. Simon Runnett along with Steve Wilson coming through behind. I think Henderson's likely to be our next rider to the line. Now sitting in 30th position, just ahead of the second of our female riders. It's the Onion team rider, Claire Richardson, who's going to come through second of our female riders on the course today. So good riding by Claire. Then it's going to be Craig Foster, followed by Chris Ball, Doug Main, and then it's going to be Breen coming through from Breen. Then Rory Gillard, I think, is going to be our next rider heading for the line. Not too much draft to be had, I think, off Mick Clark's wheel. Mick chasing Breen to the line, so going to be Fran Breen, followed by Mick Clark, followed by Gillard, and then I think Dixon Richard is our next rider.
Well, what I'm loving here, Matt, is the whole ethos of the Donny Chaingang. If you get dropped, find a group. This is group upon group upon group coming into the line. It might be small groups of 3s and 4s, but people are finding their pack.
They are indeed now. Dixon Mill's going to be our next rider in to the line. He's going to come through in 38th place. It should be 39th for Rich Langmead, but behind Rich, you can just about make those figures out behind. This is going to be Burkitt. Burkitt is trying to close down, but Burkitt has got company behind him as well.
Yeah, and they are moving, you know that they are. There's a little bit of competition here, but I do think it was, in fact, the order of the day that went through. Oh, no, they're going to get rolled on the line.
That was a roll on the line. John Garth at the Royal Marine is showing his experience of riding on the Chaingang, who came through ahead of Whitehead and Co. Lamy just getting rolled there. Steve Helbert coming through from Sherpine Cycles, one of our two riders there. It's Gale, followed by Dr. D himself, Rowan Dubash. So Dr. D comes through. Good to see Rowan on the Chaingang and out and riding. Lots of fried sets of legs.
Well and truly.
So well done to Rolly Gellard. The riders trying to stay as long as they can. Now this is one man you would not want to take into the sprint. Chris Canham has got a phenomenal kick on him, but behind him is the one and only Carl Johnson, who also has a phenomenal kick. These two riders are really good sprinters.
And neither of them are going to sprint today.
Do you think?
Neither.
I don't think anybody's got any legs left,
no.
to be brutally honest.
I think those climbs have been sprint enough.
They have indeed. So Chris Canham makes his way in towards the line. I think he's got another few seconds there. He's going to sprint. There we go, Chris. Thank you very much, Chris. 8 watts per kilo nearly. That's the sprint. Carl Johnson, come on, Carl. Is he going to put a kick in? Is he going to have anything left in those legs? I tell you what, the gap is coming down to Darren Topless behind, but he holds on. He held his cool there. It's going to be Darren Topless who goes through immediately behind him, but behind Darren Topless, I think our next rider could well be Foxy, who is
She's
on
got
the climb.
Sonia Inslee for company as well. So Foxy and Inslee both riding together. Two riders who have ridden many Chaingangs, whether that be the Donny Chaingang or the Wow Wednesday.
So if you want to join us, don't forget, you can join Sonia, you can join Foxy on the Wow on the Wednesday. Guess when it is? It's on a Wednesday. 6:15. Indeed it is, just another 15 minutes later. And you can get all the links for free. You can get there on the Zwift event page. If you want to ride on a Thursday, well, you just need to register. It's free. You can see the link down at the bottom. It's buytickets.ad/fullspeed events. You can get there from my social media at MattFixPain or from Emma's at Biking Emma. Don't forget, if you want to ride on Tuesday, you need to be a member of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. That is for members who support the Chaingang. We would love to see you there, and we would love to see our members joining us for Nonna's meal in February when Nonna's are supporting the Chaingang. 17th February, put the date in your diary. This month we're supported by Goodyear. Now it's not just discounts, we've got some great giveaways as well from Goodyear Tyres, who are looking after our members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. So please make sure, if you're going to join, jump on board and join, donate. It's a great month to do so. Don't forget 30% discount, 30% from Goodyear all the way through the course of the season to members of the Donny Chaingang, 30% off. If you go searching online, you can find yourself some discounts, but I couldn't find anything that was anywhere even close, not even halfway close to the discount that's being offered by Goodyear Tyres to the members of the DCG gang. There's some amazing rubber on there. So whether you're after the best or you just want something at a great value, both work.
Well, I'll tell you something, Matt. 2024 is going to be a good year for sponsors on the Donny Chaingang and a good year for our riders.
It is indeed. Now, Foxy, next rider heading in towards the line. She's just put a little bit of ground in to Sonia Inslee, but Sonia is one competitive cookie.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Foxy is checking out just to make sure Inslee is okay, because Inslee's not gone with her. But she needs to be careful because Sonia has got a sprint.
Sonia has indeed. We used to call her Super Sprinter Sonia.
Yeah. Look at that, and there she goes. She's kicked Foxy. You need to watch it. She's gone at 6 watts per kilo. She is fine.
She is indeed, and that is a big old kick. Now Foxy's going to go. Foxy going to go over the top. She does. So here we go. Foxy's gone over the top of her, but they both drop back down again.
And Inslee kicks again. She's got at 6 watts per kilo again. This is just a cheeky little test of the legs.
It is indeed. Foxy gets that from Sonia Inslee. They are going to come in just ahead of Gary Petterson, who's come around that left-hand turn at the top of the climb. So great riding by our riders out on the circuit today. We follow all of our riders home if we can. I am loving the fact that Sonia Inslee is now feeling a little bit poorly.
Well, you know, it is a killer course when you are motoring.
It's a killer course, full stop. One of my rare claim to fame is actually I once rolled Russ on this course. He was absolutely narked. I was going to say something else that got one of my colleagues banned from the BBC.
Unfortunately for anybody else, these types of climbs suit Matt.
They do, and Russ wasn't training. He didn't realise I was.
Yeah, well, there we go.
But listen, a win's a win, and rolling an next national champ, you've got to remember those. It doesn't happen often. Okay, I'm sure our winners are going to be remembering. Today are two riders who came in front of Ryan Mullen as well as the rider behind. But a massive thank you to Ryan Mullen here today on the Chaingang. Good luck, buddy, in the Tour Down Under in the UAE Tour. Looking forward to catching up with Tour Down Under, especially the UAE Tour, because one of the companies we work for is based in the UAE. You have to follow our social media for us to tell you what, where, when and who that is. Now, coming to the line, Gary Patterson coming through. Good ride by Gary here today. 3 laps of that circuit done, just a warm down to do, and that means a little bit of time left for our riders to stretch their legs. Now, Fiona Keston on the climb. It looks like Jim Flynn also about to hit that climb. You can just see the gradient rising in front, and Mr. Gillard up on to the big kicker. John looking good at the moment on that cobbled climb. So Gary in and through the line, Fiona on to the climb. Let's go through some quick dates for people now that they're maybe just doing their recovery. So quick reminder for our riders: if you are fancying going out and riding on some of the quietest, best, most beautiful, stunning roads, I am slightly biased, in the world, then don't forget to jump on board and keep your eyes peeled for the details of the ride. We are going to be doing some wrap-round rides around the Charentes weekend, which is in the Charente, so it is in the old Aquitaine region that's been part of England for years and years and years. It is great riding country. You don't have alpine climbs that take you all day and will kill you. These climbs are a little bit shorter, but they come more frequently, very Flandrian in style. There is a mass of Strada Bianchi type roads. The Chemin Blanc, which is basically the white roads, are fantastic limestone mixed with Chemin de Fer, which are old railway lines. We also have the Chemin d'Enfleurette, which are the forest roads. They are all great on a gravel bike or a cross bike. That's on the Saturday. Oh, by the way, you also cross the river.
No, that was this year.
It's happening.
Is it happening again
well?
next year?
I've
on
seen
the
the routes and
I
Emma
have
hasn't.
never seen a sportif where you have to load yourself and your bike with your fellow
On a
riders
chain link ferry.
onto a chain link ferry.
That happens on the gravel sport team. It is absolutely brilliant. The fast lads in that, they went round, I warn you now, 30 kph was the average speed of the
The
fast
roads
lads.
are fast, the riders are quick.
And most of that was off-road. Sunday, it is a Flandrian style, so some bergs, some climbs, not all that dissimilar to the climbs that Fiona Kesteven has been riding on. Fiona on her way into that gantry underneath the archway. Fiona, great ride today. Good to see Fiona back on the gang once again. So congratulations, Fiona. Well done.
Yes, indeed. So that Flandrian weekend, the 7th and 8th of September, we're going to do some wraparound rides before and after.
We are indeed, and I've got some great plans for where we're going to go. I've seen the routes, I know where we're heading on both of those rides. Saturday, the off-road and very technical one, compared to the Sunday. Now, the Sunday you can get away with a road bike with decent tyres. You can get away with it on a gravel bike with fast tyres on it, because it is Flandrian. It has bumpy roads. It has what we term the bumpy berg. It also has what we term the Bewleyberg. And in fact, there are riders who race now on the continent who've been out there and up there. Those climbs are tough. They are really bumpy road surfaces and are hard to gain traction, particularly in the wet. There's a lot of riders. It's absolutely scenic. We have chateaus for feed stations on that weekend.
Yeah, that's true.
We have some amazing roads, some quiet roads. The entry fees for them, we're not organising the race, it's organised by the Cyclo Classics France, which is based in the village where we
The starting
where we are.
village.
The start and finish village of both rides. The rides are run by them. I think from memory, it's going to be to enter both. It's incredibly expensive, a whole €50. It's less than €50 to enter both. I think it's less than 40.
I think it's less
if
than
I'm
40.
brutally honest, although the prices I don't think have yet been quite confirmed. But less than €50 will see you entered into both. That includes the food, that includes the after dinner.
And
It
a little
includes
bit of music.
some music. I don't do any talking on these rides. We're going to be there. We're going to have some sample rides. We're going to give people tastes beforehand. Will we see Jim Flint out there? Don't have to be a member of the DCG gang. We are just doing wraparound rides for anybody who fancies it out there that weekend. Get in touch with us and make sure you stay on that Donny Chaingang page. Now, Jim Flint in and through the finishing line. Good riding, buddy. And I think that means that John is going to be the last rider in on nice, very nice uranium bike there, actually.
Lovely.
It is nice. It's one of the quick bikes, actually, on Zwift. Going to be making his way over the climb. This is the penultimate climb of the day, 23rd Street.
Yeah, he's going to be very happy when he's up and over that one, and there is just one more climb to go.
And this is one of the tough climbs, this steep, sharp one here. If you're feeling good, it's one to sprint over, and if you're not feeling good, don't try.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're feeling good, you come into the bottom and pick your cadence up and you fly up it. But if you're not feeling it, it does hurt your legs.
It does indeed. Now, the rides that we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing wraparound rides. So we're not organising anything. It's a meet-up. It's to come out and have a ride with friends. We're not organising this as full speed events.
No, not at all. It is literally just a case of we will be doing some rides pre and post. If you want to come and join us, you're more than welcome.
And we will be going out and sampling some of them. We'll be giving a taster of some of the roads that you're going to experience on the Saturday and the Sunday. We're going to be doing that on Thursday and the Friday before. We'll also be doing some recovery stuff on the Monday and Tuesday.
Because we know where the great cafes are.
Indeed. Amazing coffee.
Great cake.
Yes.
Or brioche.
Yes, and we may well, in fact, be making sure that everybody's in one piece afterwards. And so if you're going to be fancying that, make sure you go onto the Donny Chaingang page. Keep an eye on the full speed events posts on there. We'll be putting that out there of how you can put your name down for that, and where the links are to get on board the ride. The Wow Week, well, the Wow Week is in May. That's going to be coming up for Women's Only Week. That is for riders on the Wow. It's a meet-up, and again, we are going out for a bike. Well, I'm not. I'm just going out for a bike ride with the mates.
Absolutely.
You are more than welcome to join if you are there and you qualify for a Women's Only Week.
Yeah, and all information about that will be put out on the Wow group on Facebook.
Don't forget you can follow Russ. He's been the man who's been heading up all of the ride. Today the man whose bright idea it was to put the Chaingang on to Zwift in the first place. And he is going to be all over social media, I'm sure, over the next few weeks with Fuel, the coffee, with the Rocket Espresso. He's also going to be there with the Bike Flex. He's also going to be on with Downing Cycling. And, of course, Russ, Pinarello ambassador as well. And some great pictures of some great bikes to have a look at as well. A Halo ambassador, a OTE ambassador as well. So don't forget to get on there. If you do fancy meeting up with us and you're a member of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club for the winter, you'll already have your access code to be able to buy tickets for that. You get a preferential head start on anybody else. Please, guys, get in there before they go. There are limited places. When they have gone, they have gone. I got mine, bought my ticket. Emma's bought hers.
I've bought mine.
Yep, and that means that we're going to be there.
Has Russ bought his?
Not yet.
Oh, Russ had better get in there quick.
He had. I haven't. I've literally not put any aside for anybody, so he's getting there quick. Russ, though, is a member of the gang all winter. That means that he has a head start until Monday, because from Monday, anybody who is a member for February, even though it's January, because they could buy you tickets, you could have bought your February ticket in September, basically. If you're a February member, as soon as you are a member, once we get to Monday, you will be getting that code sent to you, and that means that you can then get your tickets as well, because it is on limited access. That will continue. It closes 7 days in advance so that we can make sure that the team at Nonnas know exactly what is up for grabs.
And will you be opening the tickets to anybody else, Matt, once the February members have bought the tickets that they want?
I'm pleading the fifth on that one.
You don't know.
I don't know because it depends. We might be sold out.
Yep.
It will be possible for it to sell out with members, with February members, and with all winter members. It is possible for it to sell out and nobody else will get a look in.
So
and in fact, not all of the members who are all winter members and February members will be able to get tickets.
So if riders want to think about getting tickets and they've not got their membership yet, they need to get their membership very quickly for February if they want to be part and parcel of that evening.
Yeah, get that and get in there. The last thing I want is somebody to miss out because who desperately wants to go because they didn't jump on board quick enough. So we've put it out there. It's in the members' email that's gone out to the January members of when it opens. So if you're a January member, you'll already know that. If you're just a member in February, then you won't have that email. But basically, you will get the codes early. You get that before, in fact, your February members' email. You're going to get that because we want you to be there. Because if you are supporting the Nonnas month, which is February, then you're going to be in there. Don't forget, of course, if you are in January, you get all of the discounts as well. But the date for that to put in your diaries, if you're a member and you want to be with us, 17th of February. Now, there's no ride with that. It's the middle of winter. If people choose to meet up with their mates somewhere,
it's a Saturday night.
Knock yourselves out. It's a Saturday night. If you want to go recover on a Sunday, do you want to go meet Russell? Something? Do whatever you want. Meet with your friends or just go to the pub. Knock yourselves out. We're not organised.
Also, for those riders not in the region,
yep.
there is a mainline train station in Sheffield.
Yep.
And there are plenty of popular hotels within walking distance. And when I mean popular, I mean things like the Premier Inn and the Travelodge.
Yep, as well as some of the really expensive ones. So if you fancy a swanky night out.
There are swanky ones as well.
It is Sheffield, but there are swanky hotels, I promise.
There are.
Okay.
Walkable from Nonnas.
I see a plan forming apart from the fact we're working the following morning. Right, never mind that. Let's follow our last rider coming in to the finish here today. It's going to be a 54th place out of 70, remember? And that shows you just how many people didn't make the finish.
Well, or have already got off the bike.
Nope. Don't think so. Don't think so. Pretty sure not. I stand to be corrected, of course. Irrespective of the position, a great ride by John Gillard.
Absolutely.
Well done, John. Congratulations. Time to spin those legs out. So John Gillard goes in over the line. Congratulations, buddy. Don't forget, the next open to all riders, Donny Chaingang, is on Thursday. It's the Wow Chaingang on Wednesday, and the members only on Tuesday. So we're going to leave John warming down. Emma, apart from the fact that your camera has decided for the focus not to work. Is that by magic? It didn't work.
No, it doesn't work. Sometimes.
Try again. Try again with more than that. Slowly. Here
ready,
we go. This is magic. Are you ready? It's not pulling it in.
it's not going into
so
focus.
Do you know what we're going to do? We're going to say, do you know what it is? It's the amount of hot air in this studio
Obviously.
between the pair of us. So we're going to leave Emma with her camera. Emma's going to give you a quick wave goodbye, which we might just about see. There you go.
Au revoir.
Don't forget, you can catch up with Emma at Biking Emma. A pleasure having you in the studio.
It's been great. Thank you ever so much.
So it just remains for me to say, don't forget, donate to the Donny Chaingang. Join at buytickets.at/fullspeed events. You can see it over there. Don't forget, of course, you can join the members only Donny Chaingang. Then you get the discounts and so on. The Chaingang's made possible by Full Speed Events and Downing Cycling. It is a co-production, and Russ, Danny, and myself, Matt Payne, co-produce all of the Donny Chaingang. The WOW is run by Emma. Please, please, please do give us a follow. Do give us a like, give us a share, get the riders on board. A massive thank you to everybody who's ridden today, especially Ryan Mullen. Big thank you to Russ, our Yellow Big, and to Emma, my co-host here today. But from me, Matt Payne, from Emma here in the studio, we will be back. Myself and Emma are going to be back on Sunday. You need to follow our social media to find out where that is. We will be back as well next week with more Zwift. Sunday I'll be on the UCI cyclocross feed from the one and only Zonhoven, the classic cyclocross. And if your computer thinks it's registered in somewhere like maybe Brazil, you will find that as if by magic you get me, and not wherever you normally listen to, if you normally listen to somebody else, which don't blame you. But enough about us. Time for you to get some recovery done. Time for us to pop the happy birthday champagne and celebrate Emma's birthday. Happy birthday, Emma. 21 again, times 2 plus a bit.
Yeah.
Time for me to go for any more trouble. We'll see you again soon.
Goodbye.